everyone and welcome to this Reality Mod spoiler video. In this video we'll be showing off a bunch of new features in the Reality Mod never before seen. The first weapon we'll be using today is the Stingbow. This is a bow that shoots a stinger projectile that poisons enemies instead of an arrow. However, every 5th shot fired from the Stingbow will shoot 3 stingers instead of 1. This makes it very powerful against individual enemies. You can also store this charged shot in order to gain a quick burst of damage. Next is one of the first bosses you'll encounter in the mod, Shaddai. Shaddai is a flying beetle that charges at the player. Here Shaddai is using its deflection ability, which allows it to push players away from it. In expert mode this will also reflect projectiles. Shaddai also summons smaller beetles to protect itself. Unfortunately, the Stingbow is not very good against swarms of enemies, so we will not survive this encounter. In expert mode, Shaddai drops the Holy Sphere. The Holy Sphere is a powerful accessory that provides a 20% chance to reflect enemy projectiles. Here we have the Marine Demon, a powerful enemy from the Infernal Infantry that wields a gun. As you can see, the Marine Demon's bullet is reflected back by the Holy Sphere, healing the player for 117 health, while the Holy Sphere goes on cooldown for 11 seconds. The visibility of the Holy Sphere bubble can be enabled and disabled by using the visibility icon on the accessories UI. One biome we can explore in the mod is space. We can travel to space simply by touching the top of the world. Note that this does not trigger when a boss is active. Because we don't have the proper gear for space travel, we lose breath and life very quickly. When you die in space, you'll be transported back to the overworld. Now, let's equip a spacesuit. This will allow us to be more mobile in space and, more importantly, allow us to breathe in space. One thing to note in space are these asteroids. Currently, being near one of these asteroids will damage the player. However, this is subject to change in the future. To exit space, all you need to do is fall down to the bottom of the world. Another biome we can travel to is the ocean world. The ocean world was once part of the Tropicalia mod, but has now come to Reality mod. Right now, not much content has been implemented into the ocean world. We can travel to the ocean world by touching either side of the world. The next weapon we'll be using is the Headhunter Shotgun. The Headhunter Shotgun is a very powerful weapon because it has a very tight spread. In addition, it can be wielded as an axe simply by right-clicking while the shotgun is deployed.
First we sharpen the axe, and then we chop the tree.
My axe is plenty sharp, and a shotgun.
This weapon is the I2 Impaler Rifle. It fires similar to a normal rifle, but once we get close to an enemy we'll start impaling them with a gun similar to a spear. The melee modes of these two weapons make them excellent for crowd control. These weapons are obtained from the Infernal Infantry, a wave-based event. Defeating enemies in this event will advance through a certain number of waves. As the player progresses through the waves, more and more enemies will begin to spawn, including some mini-bosses. Defeating these mini-bosses will progress the event much more quickly. Now here's a familiar boss, Eschaton. Eschaton is a metallic being that shoots powerful lasers from its mouth and itself. It also shoots spikes from its tail and creates smaller worms to distract the player. Eschaton is a very powerful boss, and these weapons from the Infernal Infantry are not quite enough on their own to crack Eschaton's shell. Thank you to everyone who's sticking with Reality Mod throughout its development. We hope we'll have more content to show soon.